Hi, I'm Lel from Made by Marley, and today we're going to be making this really cute, really simple to make little Easter decoration. If you want to know how to make this, just follow along. So to make it, you need a block of wood. It doesn't matter if it's a bit nasty looking. This was a piece that I just got off the shed floor. It actually just happened to be the right size for these two of our craft blanks, so it happened to be the same width, but you can just cut a bit of wood or you could use a bit of strong cardboard. So you need two of the Made by Marley craft flags. I'm not too bothered about these little bits. I'll put some paper clay in there. So a packet of these, I think they came from the pound shop. I think they were, obviously they were a pound, but I think that's where they came from. You need or you can use a stencil. I've typed out on my computer and made a decal for the front of here. You don't need that. You need some grey spray paint, because at one point I'm going to spray all grey and then I'm going to make it look shabby with some white chalk paint, hot glue gun, and that's just about everything you need. Now the first thing we're going to do is, actually you do need something else. You need some glue just to put on here, just a light coating of glue. So the first thing we're going to do is just get some glue and we're going to glue the top of here. So while the glue gun's heating up, because we're going to glue both our craft blanks onto the edges here, while that's heating up, I got my piece of wood and I used a big drill bit and I just drilled 4 holes. I could have fitted it 5 and they're not exactly, you know how I always say I'll eyeball it and it's never quite right. They could have all been moved over slightly, but it doesn't matter too much. It'll have the same effect, I'll be fine. So there's the holes that I've drilled. Now I want to get rid of the little holes in here, so I'm just going to get a little bit of paper clay. Just get it on Amazon, self-hardening clay, and I'm just going to chuck some of that in, fill in the holes with it. Maybe need a bit more. And when it's dry, I'm just going to give it a light sand. Nothing, it's just to kind of like cover them up a little bit. It doesn't matter if you don't even, but right, we'll do that on there. I'll just flip it over and make sure that I've got it on the other sides. So that's us, we've filled in our little holes from our craft bag. If you're not using craft bag and you're just using a little piece of MDF, you won't obviously need to do that step. Just sit this to the side for a minute. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get pieces of more paper clay and some glue, and what we're going to do is randomly we're just going to stick some pieces on, thin pieces and some thicker pieces, kind of like that, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a minute. So just going to stick those on, and another piece here. I mean, the glue you might not need to use glue, but I'm just playing it safe and putting some glue on. So it's going to be spray painted before we kind of shabby it with the grey spray paint. But now I think that's about what we're looking for there. Maybe just remember to avoid the holes. Don't put any in the holes. That won't work. So you've got the kind of gist there of what I'm doing. Some glue on there. Now I'm just going to take my brush out of there. And remember, if you're using air drying clay, put it in a bag and keep it nice and tight, airtight, so that it doesn't dry up. So you've got this bit, and what I've got here is I've got a brush, but it's quite hard. It's quite a hard brush, and what I'm going to do is this, and push down, and remember to push kind of into the edges so that there's not big hangy, you know, like your edges aren't sticking up. This bit here could do with a wee bit of glue, because this is the bit that's going to form the grass. So we're just kind of putting some rough texture on it just now, and then I'm going to get a clay tool, but you could use a knife just to kind of So I've got the kind of rough texture, and then I've got a clay tool here which I'm just going to kind of go like just to make it look a little bit more like it's not a flat block of wood. And this is going to be like kind of grass. And I'm going to paint it all grassy at the end. So pretty quick. You'd notice it's not my life's work here. I'm not spending too much time about it. It's just a little decor piece, and this will give it the right sort of look anyway. I'm just making sure that these edges are kind of like tiered and flat. Now, hot glue should have hit up by now because we're going to glue our sides on and our dowel and everything. And I'll give you a close up of how that looks. So that's its sort of side. You can see what I'm kind of trying to do, trying to make it look. I'm going to push it up a bit. I want a little bit more sort of kind of like tufts of grass. There, yeah. So that's it from the side. That's it from the top. Now what we're going to do is I'm just going to quickly get this sandpaper out of my drawer here. And I'm just going to take the roughness of this. Sand it, filled in those holes. There we go. That'll be fine. Get rid of those bits. Now, hot glue gun, extra hot. Run it along. You can probably use, if you want, you can probably use, I would probably think, you know, maybe using wood glue, but just for the sake of this video, and you know what, it's not going to get bashed about, so put my glue gun down while I straighten this up. Now a little bit of the glue has seeped out the edge, but I'm just going to push that down with my clay tool. Smooth it out hopefully when we go under shabby, and that looks fine. So this side is glued, and now we're going to glue the other side. And I'm just going to do the same thing here. I'm going to run a line of glue along there, and I'm just going to get my clay tool just to smooth it along. Sweet. So we've done this bit, and this is the bit where it all goes horribly wrong because you realise you haven't. I think I need to move. Gosh, it's so glued on, it won't come back off. I might have to cut another piece of dowel. I'll just push the edges in like that. Yeah, it's all good. Side and just get the hot glue for the other side, and whoops, sliding. This is a bit tricky, this bit. Hold it together. This is where you really could do with wood glue, but my glue gun is incredibly hot, so I'm hoping that just to, I'm gonna, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to kick the camera. Just unplugging my glue gun because it gets so hot, it just keeps running out with glue. but I am going to take some of the glue that has been running out and I'm just going to kind of backfill round here. I can sand this. I'm not too bothered, I just need to make sure that it's really kind of stuck together. Now MDF on MDF, and this is a dull rod, is pretty secure, so I'm not too concerned. I'll do this. So this is what we've got so far. Block of wood, drilled some holes, quite wide holes because this is where our carrots are going to fit, so kind of measure your carrots against it. I might take it out and put a tack through that. Glue on your dowel. We can sand off this nasty looking bits of glue. And now I'm going to let it dry completely. I'm going to let this all dry completely. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray paint it, the whole thing grey, even the grass, because we can bring the colour up on that with dry brushing, but we need to do the whole thing grey first. Okay, so next time you see this little trug, it will be grey. Okay, so it's dry with its Oliver coat of grey primer, so you can see that's how it looks. There's all the grass, the texture, the holes, everything's done. Next thing we're going to do before we paint in all the grass and bring that up is we're just going to give it a light sort of shabby. So I've got off camera here, I've got a big brush, some white chalk paint, and I'm just making sure that I don't overload my brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a sort of dry brush all over. Doesn't matter if any of the white paint gets on where we're going to do the grass. In fact, it won't do any harm at all. And we need to do it inside sides of the truck and the other side. Around like that. And I think we can call that. Let me put a little bit more white on this side. So I've done that with that. Oh, I've got this side here. I'm just going to shabby up this side. So this is how it now looks. And I'm just going to do this just along this edge. It doesn't matter. I'll get that on here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a brush. And this is probably not maybe the green you want to use, but this is the green I'm putting the base coat on. It's a green I mixed up yesterday and I'm trying to use it up. And what you do is you just make sure that you paint all your texture of your grass, making sure that it's been painted with an undercoat of a light green, a dark green, whatever green you want, but this is the green I'm using. I'm going to go over the top of it with a darker green, but because I had this green, this is the green I'm using. But it probably would not have been my first choice, but I've mixed it up, so I'm gonna go with it. Now you have to make sure that you poke in. Now my air drying clay isn't completely 100% dry. In fact, it's still a little bit soft, but it can dry on the piece. It's fine. I'm going to flip this round and I'm going to do it on that side. So I'm going to carry on and I'm going to paint the rest of this green and wait till it dries, and then I'm going to put some tone and shading in it with some more different colours of green, and then we'll get our decal on, get our carrots in it, and we'll call it good. So I'll get on and do this. This is the stage we're at so far. We've put our piece together, we've put some mock grass in it, we've shabbied it. Now I just need to make this look more realistic like grass. So I have some white, no I don't have white, I have some green, just green acrylic, and I'm just gonna I'm using a rough acrylic brush, not a smooth brush, and what I'm doing is I'm just stippling on some grass. In dry, some of it a bit more wet than others, and then other is quite dry, just to kind of give it that sort of grassy feel. I mean, you could have made it a bit more realistic if you hadn't started with the colour that I started with, because my colour is kind of like more of a sort of tealy green, but as I said, it was what I wanted to use up. Flip it round. Now, some bits around this side that I haven't quite covered. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of white here and there on this, because grass isn't, you know, depending on how the light's shining on it and how the grass is going, it's not all one shade. So get it right up to the edges of your little trug you've made, your little, yeah, and just add in lighter texture. Not everywhere, not all over the top of it, just in some areas. Now what we need to do is we need to wait until that dries so that we can put our carrots in. But what we can do right now is we can put our decal on it. So this is the sort of texture I've put on it. I hope you can see, and that's the kind of paint colours that I've done right up close so you can see it. I'm just going to put a couple of white highlights in it. Got a little bit of white on the end of my palette here. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Now that's our grass done. Now I need to get some transfer tape and put this on. So just move that to the side and get our little decal. Stick it on a piece of transfer tape. And if you don't have a camel silhouette, you could just stencil something on it, or stick, oh, I forgot that's wet, or just stick some stickers on it. Just make sure I rub it all down so that it sticks nice. And then that hasn't adhered. It's where I've put the rustic sort of shagging on. It's kind of stuck a bit. So I'm just kind of gingerly peeling this off so that all the rest of the letters don't come. So carrots is fine. Sometimes if you're in a bit of a rush like I am, it's probably better to wait until everything's really dry. Your letters will stick, we can burnish them on in a minute, but it's just that they don't instantly sort of stick onto the piece. Probably I was a bit lazy. If I'd put a spray sealer on this, it'd be easy, but I didn't. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get this decal to come off nice. There we go. And the S has got a little bit moved. Just gonna get the weeding tool. Just gonna straighten that S up. There we go. Fresh spring carrots, and I'm just now making sure that it's all stuck down. So that's the next piece. This is still a little bit wet to put our carrots in. If we put our carrots in now, they'll just get painty, so, and there's no point mushing it. I had toyed with maybe putting some flowers in it, but I don't think I'll do. I'm going to keep it quite simple. I've also got some little Easter like sort of stickers, and I'm wondering what this little butterfly would look like. A bee. I'm not sure. There's the truth to that. So I'm going to let this completely dry and we'll be back in a minute. So it's dry now, so we can pop our little carrots in. So as I said in the beginning, I got a packet of these from, I'm sure it was Pound Shop. I only need 4 carrots, but they come, oh well, this one doesn't. They usually have a little string that you hang them up with. These ones don't. And then just pop them. I'm not gluing them in, pop them in the holes, and this is how it looks. Isn't that cute? A cute little piece of spring decor. Now I'm going to sit it over here and get some side shots for you, but that was pretty simple. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you want to see more spring crafts, then please subscribe. If you think that somebody else might like this, then share the video. And if you want to leave a comment, then feel free to leave a comment. But that was a really easy make, really cute. You can set it on a wee shelf and I'll stage it up like that next. So this is it from the side on level. All nice, shabbied up and looking totally cute. And now I'll go and take some really nice pictures of it. I've been Lel from Made by Marley.